Hello YouTube, this is Neon. I'm doing my little circle here to make sure that it remains full screen. Today I'm going to be talking about the crab theory. Okay? The crab theory. Woo! And by full screen meaning that you don't have the black sidebars. So if I do this little twirly around thing, recording through the YouTube app, Dear Heavenly Father God, please saturate that situation with peace and Yeshua's holy name I pray, amen, gloria a Dios. I always say a prayer when there's an emergency vehicle outside. So, recording through the YouTube app, it usually stays full screen. This talk could be called Dream Stealers as well, which is what the crab theory is about. A few definitions. Crab mentality, sometimes referred to as crabs in the bucket, also barrel, basket, or pot, is a way of thinking best described by the phrase, if I can't have it, neither can you. The metaphor refers to a basket of crabs. When a person goes fishing for crabs, and a speaker who said he had gone fishing for crabs experienced this. He said, when or once a person catches 2 or more crabs, they never have to worry about the crabs escaping. The reason is that once one crab gets a claw on the bucket or on the top of the bucket where they can then pull themselves out, another crab always attaches on and pulls it back in. Okay, that's the reality. That in fact, you don't really need to cover the lid of the crabs when you're fishing for them because they will keep themselves in. Another definition. The crab theory is used in the deaf community as a metaphor to describe the tendency of some deaf people to criticize or put down the successes or achievements of other deaf people. It's one way it plays out amongst us humans. Another thing I found online about the crab theory is that when a person has fished a lot of crabs, again, at least 2 or more, the crabs play this King of the Hill game. What that is exactly, I don't know, but apparently they're grabbing on each other so much that none of them escape. So that's another way of looking at it. Now, one last definition. The analogy in human behavior is, in human behavior is claimed to be that members of a group will attempt to negate or diminish the importance of any member who achieves success beyond the others out of envy, spite, conspiracy, or competitive feelings to halt their progress. I'm going to give you a sad and shameful story from my life. My little brother, who's a little more than a year younger than me, was always my size from about the age of maybe 5 or 6 on up. I was not really bigger than him. And then by the time we finally hit puberty, he outgrew me. He could fight really well and he loved to fist fight. He would come home with a black eye and I would see the other guy would have a black eye and a fat lip. And it really wasn't that big of a deal for him. And as we reached our preteens, I pretty much knew he could beat me up, but there was a level of perhaps viciousness. Another prayer for an emergency vehicle. I hope I'm not praying for the same emergency vehicle over and over again. So he, in our preaching, said he wanted to be a boxer. Now, in my family of 7, pretty much 4 of us were beaten and mistreated, and 3 were spoiled. So when he announced he wanted to be a boxer, by this time I knew he could beat me up. There was a degree of viciousness with me, verbal viciousness and nagging and passive-aggressive behavior and threats that I would kill him, and so he didn't really beat me up that much. But if we ever had a fist fight, he would win. So he's telling this principally to the other 3 of us 4 that used to get beat up. And the other 2 were telling him, you better not do that, you'll catch a brain tumor and you'll wind up being a vegetable. And I'm listening to this, but I'm not really paying attention. And I'm supposed to be the brains of the family, right? So they're annoying the hell out of him, trying to make him give up this goal. And then he asked me, well, Neon, what do you think? And I remember thinking to myself, well, and this is literally what was going through my head. Damn, he can beat me up now. And if he takes boxing classes and begins to be a boxer, he's going to beat my ass anytime he wants to. So out of that, I said, yeah, I don't think you should do it because you'll get a brain tumor and you'll wind up being a vegetable. So he ended up giving up that dream, unfortunately. And that right there is the crab theory. Now, what other experts have said is that when a person shares their dream with anybody else, the closer that they get to home, the more likely are people going to try to steal that dream. And they're never going to come straight out and say it. Like I didn't come straight out and say it. I'm afraid you're going to beat me up because you can beat me up right now. And if you learn how to box, you're going to really be able to beat me up. And I'll never feel safe around you. So I'm going to tell you not to do it because it reflects bad on me. It's going to make me look bad, you beating me up all the time. I don't like getting beat up. We get beat up all the time anyway. Nobody's going to say that. Nobody's going to say that. They're going to say they're doing it to protect you. I don't want you to become a vegetable. I don't want you to get a brain tumor. That's human behavior. Okay? Not proud of it, but I embrace the truth. And as I said, the truth doesn't really ever make me look good. So the more closer a person gets to home, the more likely the person is going to try to steal that person's dream. Take away that person's dream. Tell that person that their dream's not going to work. The reason why is that when a person shares their dream with other people, people will respond to that dream by how that person's success will reflect on them. On them. Not on the dreamer, but on them. Okay? So, all too often, it's if they succeed at the level that they're saying, they're going to have fame and money. It's going to make me look bad because I don't have success. And I'll look like a loser compared to them. Out of that, I will tell them why their dream wouldn't work. And what I will tell them is I'm trying to help them out. If they do ever confront me, I'll say, I wasn't trying to tell you not to do that. That was your decision. I was just trying to protect you because if you do it, all of these horrible things will happen. That's human behavior, completely dishonest. But that's what we'll do because we want to steal their dream, but we don't want to take any responsibility whatsoever. We don't want to be held accountable for stealing their dream. And if it comes down to it, we'll tell them, oh, well, you should have did it anyway. I didn't put a gun to your head and tell you not to pursue that dream. No, but I did everything that I could do to prevent you from achieving that dream. Now, I would have possibly even used a gun if I could have gotten away with it, but I don't have a gun. And if I did use a gun, you could call the police and there would be consequences. So people will do what they can to destroy another person's dream. Sometimes, if the person's generous and gives out money, my inclination, the average person's inclination might be to be a little more supportive because they know if that person achieves a wealth, they know that they're going to get something out of it. So this is, how does it reflect on me? How is it going to make me look? How is it going to benefit me? If the person's stingy already, I may try to destroy them and their dream because they're stingy. They're not going to give me any of the money. That is how the human mind works. Many times when it comes to college, many times people will be supportive because that dream, first of all, it's not that big of a dream. Tens of millions of people have college educations. have a college education. It's not a big dream in that so many people have achieved that. It's not unique, okay? So that coupled the fact that it's a small dream, let's face it, it's a small dream. I'm not putting people down for going to college. Do what you want to do, it's fine. But it's not extraordinary in and of itself. So having said that, some people, for example, in the ghetto, some people who come from families where no one's graduated from high school, those family members may still try to destroy that dream because this person is going to try to pretend like he's white, or this person is going to try to think they're smarter than everybody else. You know, that affected me somewhat because I was the first in my family of my parents, of my 7 siblings. I was the 4th of 7. I was the first to graduate from high school and to go to a 4-year school. I did not graduate. But I had those accusations. Oh, you think you're a white boy, you're trying to be white, and all this kind of crap. I, in this respect, just had a kind of a mental toughness to where they were not going to get to me. And I was going to outsmart them no matter what they said. And essentially I would say, oh, so basically you're criticizing me for being intelligent. Thank you. I appreciate that. So they really couldn't get me on that one as far as me being educated. Now, parents are the worst. As I said, the closer you get to home, the more likely people are to try to destroy your dream. Now, parents will say in public that they want their child to succeed beyond what they succeeded, but in reality they do not. This has been proven. If they're middle class and their child wants to be rich, this means that they're going to have to learn to associate with people they've never associated with, people at income levels that they've never associated with before, people who have experiences they've never had before. And a lot of times, generally speaking, parents don't want that. So a lot of times parents will really try to destroy their children's dreams. I'm not a big fan of Amway. I am and I'm not. Okay, and I'm going to speak about Amway perhaps tomorrow. But one guy who did succeed big in Amway became wealthy. His parents wanted to have nothing to do with it. What are the neighbors going to think? It has a bad reputation. And they didn't support their child's dream. And at one point, these parents, they threw their children, their boys, all of his clothes they threw out. All of his clothes they threw out in the front yard. Because you have to have suits and all this mess. So they were not going to let their child's dream come true, and he actually made it big in Amway, but not with the help of his parents. He did it in spite of his parents. So if you have a dream, beware, be cautious. Someone once wisely said that the only appropriate response when someone shares their dream with me is, wow, that's interesting, you would be great at it. If there's anything that I can do to help, you let me know, and if I can do it, I will. That's the only appropriate response. If a person says, I want to be a trillionaire, a person says, I want to be able to swim in diamonds, whatever their dream is, people have a right to pursue that dream. And without us trying to steal that dream from them. I want to be a billionaire. What makes you think no? What makes you think you deserve to be a billionaire? It's not an appropriate response. You want to be a billionaire? Great. Good for you. I'm sure you can do it. If there's something I can do to help, let me know and I will. You let me know. That's the only appropriate response. So hopefully we can make that response to other people that we know as they're pursuing their dreams and as they share those dreams with us. All the best. Please like, subscribe, share, comment commercials, recommend my videos. Do one or more of those things. Thank you. Best wishes.